Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. Today I'm going to recap the college basketball, NBA, NHL, and notable soccer. And look ahead to today and tomorrow for soccer's case. And then golf, tennis, on this day, Masked Singer, news and notes, and best bet. Okay, we'll start with college basketball. We'll go over the results from yesterday. Look ahead to today. Today's very busy in college. UMass over Toledo 84-82. Ohio State over Minnesota 82-74 in OT. Akron over Buffalo 82-63. Number 3 Michigan over Indiana 86-72. Number 9 Iowa State over UCF 87-57. Number 16 Florida over LSU 79-61. NC State over number 18 Clemson 80-76 in OT. Number 24 St. Louis over Duquesne 81-77. Number 25 Miami of Ohio over Kent State 107-101 in OT. St. Bonaventure over Loyola Chicago 84-70. St. John's over Seton Hall 65-60. Florida State over Miami 65-63. Ohio over Northern Illinois 80-77. Bowling Green over Western Michigan 72-54. Ball State over Central Michigan 68-67. South Carolina over Oklahoma 85-76. Butler over DePaul 87-80. UIC over Evansville 76-49. TCU over Oklahoma State 68-65. Iowa over Rutgers 68-62. Boise State over Wyoming 81-65. Southeast Missouri over Tennessee Martin 66-50. Number 10 Michigan State over Oregon 68-52. Number 12 Texas Tech over Baylor 92-73. Number 21 Georgia over Missouri 74-72. Kansas State over Utah 81-78. SMU over Wake 91-79. Colorado State over Air Force 81-52. Auburn over Ole Miss 78-66. Number 20 Arkansas over number 15 Vandy 93-68. UCLA over number 4 Purdue 69-67. Nevada over San Jose State 87-54. UNLV over Utah State 86-76. And number 19 Kansas over Colorado 75-69. All right, tonight 6 o'clock Lafayette BU. I have BU 8.5. And it is four and a half and 145, and I'll lay the 4.5 of BU. UNC Asheville SC Upstate. I have Asheville 1.7. And it's Upstate 1.5, total 141. I'll take Asheville plus 1.5 and plus 112 to win. Sanford Wofford. I have Wofford by a half, 2.5 and 155.5. I'm going to take Sanford plus the 2.5. UNC Greensboro VMI. I have VMI 4.3. It's Greensboro 2.5 total 150. I'll take VMI plus 2.5 and plus 126 outright. 6:30 Dayton LaSalle. I have Dayton 13.7. 9.5 137. I'll lay the points with Dayton. Radford Winthrop. My line is Winthrop 5.2. It's 9.5 164. I'll take Radford in the points. 7 o'clock Big Ten Maryland. Number 11 Illinois. Illinois by 17. And it is 18.5 and 148.5. I'll go over. ESPN 2, Notre Dame, number 22, North Carolina. Carolina, 8.3. It's 13.5, 149. I'll take Notre Dame in the points. Carolina struggled lately. CBS Sports Network, Murray State, Drake. I have Murray State, 7. 4.5 and 158. I'll lay the points with Murray. Indiana State, Bradley. I have Bradley, 13. And it is 8.5 and 154.5. I'll lay the points with Bradley. Colgate against American. I have Colgate 0.2. And it is American 2.5 total 147. I'll take Colgate plus 2.5 and plus 126 outright. Rhode Island Richmond. I have Richmond 8.3. And it is 2.5 and 141. I've laid the points of Richmond. I don't know why Richmond keeps getting undersold. Fordham Davidson. I have Davidson 6.7. 4.5, 133.5 LA with Davidson. Tulane FAU. I have Tulane by 1. I know FAU is going to be favored. Yeah, 10.5 and 156.5. I'll take Tulane plus 10.5. That's way too many points. I know Florida Atlantic's been awesome. That's way too high. Army Bucknell. I have Bucknell by 7. 4.5, 144.5. I'll lay it. Gardner Webb Longwood. I have Longwood 13.2. It's 14.5 and 155.5. I'll go over. Charleston Southern Presbyterian. I have Presbyterian 2.2. It's 2.5 and 148.5. I'll take Presbyterian plus 2.5 and plus 118 to win. On Peacock, Georgetown, Villanova. I have Villanova 7.7. And it's 8.5, 143.5. I'll go over. Fox Sports 1, Xavier Creighton. I have Creighton 7.7. It's 7.5, 155.5. I'll also go over. Pitt, BC, ACC Network. I have BC 2.5, and it's Pitt 2.5. So 136.5. I'll take BC plus 2.5 and plus 128 to win. Holy Cross Navy. I have Navy 14.3. And it's 9.5, 132.5. I'll lay with Navy. Cleveland State, Wright State. I have Wright State by 13. And it's 15.5 and 159.5. I'll take Cleveland State plus the points. Purdue, Fort Wayne, and Detroit Mercy. I have Purdue, Fort Wayne 7/10. And it is 3.5 and 155.5. I'll take Detroit Mercy plus the points. IU, Indy, Oakland. I have Oakland 20.7. It's 14.5 and 177.5. I'll lay with Oakland. Furman, Citadel. I have Furman 8.7. And it's 10.5 and 141.5. I'll take the over. Western Carolina, Mercer. I have Mercer by 6. And it is 8.5, 158.5. I'll take Western Carolina to cover. East Tennessee State, Chattanooga, ESPNU. My line is Chattanooga 2.3. It's East Tennessee 5.5 to the 144.5. I'll take Chattanooga plus the points and plus 195 to win the game straight up. Troy, Old Dominion. I have Troy 0.7. And we got 6.5 and 152.5. I'll take Old Dominion in the points. Texas, Kentucky on the SEC Network. I have Kentucky 7.8. And it's 6.5, 151.5. I'll go over. North Alabama, Queens. I have Queens by 8. And it is 10.5, 162.5. I'll take North Alabama to get in the points. 7:30 East Carolina, Wichita State. I have Wichita by 9. And it's 11.5 and 144.5. I'll take East Carolina getting the points. Liberty, Western Kentucky. I have Liberty 6.3. It's 1.5, 148.5. I'll lay it with Liberty. I think that's a little low. Kennesaw State, Sam Houston. I have Kennesaw 3.7. It's Sam Houston 5.5. So 163.5. I'll take Kennesaw plus 5.5 and plus 186 to win. I think that's a little nuts that Kennesaw is that big of a dog. Southern Illinois, Valpo at 8. My line is Southern Illinois by 1. And it's Valpo 1.5 to the 142.5. I'll take Southern Illinois plus the points and plus 108 to win. UTSA, North Texas. I have North Texas by 6. And it's 15.5 and 138.5. I'll take UTSA plus the points. Temple, Rice. I have Temple by 1. It's Rice 1.5 to the 143.5. I'll take Temple plus 1.5 and minus 102 to win. Memphis, Tulsa. My line is Tulsa 2.7. And it's 5.5, 153.5. I'll take Memphis getting the points. Memphis has played better in conference play. South Dakota, Omaha. I have Omaha by 3. It's 5.5, 162.5. I'll take South Dakota in the points. Tarleton State, Texas Arlington. I have Texas Arlington 7.3. It's 3.5, 144.5. I'll lay the points with Texas Arlington. Utah Valley, Southern Utah at 8:30. I have Utah Valley by 8. It's 12.5 and 158.5. I'll take Southern Utah plus 12.5. 9 o'clock on Fox Sports 1, Cincinnati, number 1, Arizona. I have Arizona 11. And it's 13.5 and 152.5. I'll take Cincy plus the points. Big Ten Network, Washington, number 7, Nebraska. I have Nebraska 9.7. 10.5, 150.5. I'll take the over. Pepperdine, number 8, Gonzaga. I have Gonzaga 24.8. And it is 28.5 and 149.5. I'll take Pepperdine getting the big number. ESPNU, Northern Iowa and Illinois State. Illinois State 6.3 is my number. Where is that line? That line is not... Oh, there it is. 6.5 and 131.5. Over. That's ridiculous. CBS Sports Network, Fresno State, New Mexico. I have New Mexico 12.7. And it's 14.5 and 148.5. I'll take the over. On Peacock, West Virginia, Arizona State. I have West Virginia 1.7. It's Arizona State 1.5 and 145.5. I'll take West Virginia plus 1.5 and plus 104. I think Arizona State's favored because of their head coach. ACC Network, Vatex, Syracuse. I have Syracuse 5.8. It's 3.5 and 151.5. I'll lay the points with Syracuse. SEC Network, Mississippi State, Texas A&M. I have A&M by 5. And it's 8.5, 163.5. I'll take Miss State getting the points. 9:30 Wazoo, San Diego. I have Wazoo 0.2. And it's 2.5 and 153.5. I'll take San Diego plus 2.5. Loyola Marymount, Seattle at 10 o'clock. Mine's Seattle 4.2. It's 4.5 and 138.5. I'll go over. Utah Tech, Cal Baptist. My line is Cal Baptist 10.3. And it's 8.5 and 143.5. I'll take the over. 11 o'clock CBS Sports Network, Oregon State, St. Mary's. I have St. Mary's 13.7. And it's 19.5 and 141.5. I'll take Oregon State getting the points. Big Ten Network, Northwestern, USC. USC by 5. And it's 6.5, 150.5. I'll go over. And last but not least, for Fox Sports 1, San Diego State, Grand Canyon. I have San Diego State 4.2. And it's 1.5, 143.5. I'll lay the 1.5 with San Diego State. Okay, now move on to the NBA. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to tonight. Suns over the Sixers, 116-110. Bulls over the Clippers, 138-110. Rockets over the Spurs, 111-106. Jazz over the T-Wolves, 127-122. Lakers over the Nuggets, 115-107. Raptors over the Warriors, 145-127. The Heat over the Kings, 130-117. All right, 7 o'clock on ESPN, Cavs, Hornets. Cavs by 7 is the number for me, and it's 3 and 237.5. Believe it or not, I'm going to lay the points with the Cleveland Cavaliers. But wait a second. I feel like that's off. I can't believe I'm on the side of Cleveland. Okay, so I did the math wrong. It's actually a pick. I'm going to take Charlotte plus 3. I was just going to say that line is not right. 7:30 Pacers, Celtics. My line is the Boston Celtics by 13 3/4, and it's 11 and 226.5. I'll lay the points with Boston. Nets, Knicks. If the Knicks don't win this one, when are they going to fucking win? I have the Knicks 13.875, and it's 12 and 220.5. Thank God I don't have to give out the Knicks as a pick. I like the over because their defense has been horrendous. 8 o'clock, Hawks, Grizzlies. I have the Grizzlies by 5/8, and it's 1.5 and 239.5. I'll go under on that one. Pelicans Pistons from New Orleans. My line is Detroit 10 3/8. And it's 9.5 and 230.5. I'll go over. 9:30 ESPN Thunder Bucks. My line is the Bucks as a 6.5 point underdog. And the Thunder are giving 11.5 totals to 24.5. I'll take the Bucks plus 6.5. Jalen Williams is still out. And then, although so is Kevin Porter, so that's a wash. And then Hartenstein, but that's high. And then 10 o'clock is Raptors Kings. My line is the Raptors 7 3/4, and it's 6 and 224.5. I'll take the over. And Giannis is playing, by the way. I don't know why the Bucks are that big of an underdog at home. It'd be one thing if Giannis was out, but that's crazy. Okay, hockey. We'll go over the results from yesterday, and we'll look ahead to tonight, which should be a small window because it's Wednesday and it's usually TNT's night. Habs over the Wild 4-3, Lightning over the Sharks 4-1, Sens over the Jackets 4-1, Stars over the Bruins 6-2, Sabres over the Preds 5-3, Jets over the Blues 3-1, Devils over the Oilers 2-1, Kings over the Rangers 4-3. All right, and tonight 7 o'clock on True TV and TNT, Red Wings Leafs. So it's the old Mike Babcock Bowl. Leafs minus 125, Red Wings plus 104 over under 6.5, plus 104 is the over, unders minus 128. Wings plus 1.5 is minus 260. Leafs minus 1.5 plus 205. I like the Red Wings plus 104. I think they are on a nice run. 9 o'clock, Ducks, Avs. Avs minus 310. Ducks plus 245. Over under 6.5. Overs minus 134. Unders plus 110. Ducks plus 1.5 is even money. Avs minus 1.5 is minus 122. I'm going to take the Ducks on the puck line. Plus 1.5 and even money. Only because they're a better team than given credit for. Flyers, Mammoth. Mammoth minus 182, Flyers plus 150, over under 5.5, overs minus 140, unders plus 114. Flyers plus 1.5 is minus 164, Mammoth minus 1.5 plus 134. Flyers been struggling. They lost to Pittsburgh last week as a big dog with the same number of points. So I'm going to go with the Mammoth in regulation at minus 110. 9:30, Pens Flames. Pens minus 118, Flames minus 102, over under 5.5, overs minus 130, unders plus 106. Pens minus 1.5 plus 205, Flames plus 1.5 is minus 260. I'm going to go with the Flames at minus 102. I think that line stinks. TNT and True TV, Isles Kraken. Isles minus 118, Kraken minus 102, over under 5.5, minus 10 each way. Isles minus 1.5 plus 210, Kraken plus 1.5 is minus 265. I'm going to go with another home underdog. I'm going to go with Seattle at minus 102. And then 10 o'clock is Caps Canucks. Caps minus 178, Canucks plus 146, over under 6.5, overs plus 110, unders minus 134. Caps minus 1.5 plus 140, Canucks plus 1.5 is minus 172. I'm going to go with the Capitals in regulation at minus 110. Okay, now we'll move on to soccer. We'll go over the results from yesterday and today, and then we'll look ahead to tomorrow. And there are games going on right now as we speak. So yesterday, Champions League, Club Brugge over Kairat Almaty 4-1. Bodo Glimt over Man City 3-1. Copenhagen Napoli 1-1 draw. Arsenal over Inter 3-1. Olympiacos over Bayer Leverkusen 2-0. Real Madrid over AS Monaco 6-1. Sporting CP over PSG 2-1. Tottenham over Borussia 2-0. And Ajax over Villarreal 2-1. The FA Cup, Salford City over Swindon Town 3-2. ELC, Derby County over Charlton Athletic 2-1. Coventry City over Millwall 2-1. Ipswich Town over Bristol City 2-0. Oxford United Queen's Park 0-0 draw. Hull City over Preston North End 3-0. Birmingham City over Sheffield Wednesday 2-0. Swansea City over Blackburn 3-1. Norwich City over West Brom 5-0. And Leicester City Wrexham 1-1 draw. The Pro League, Al Shabab Al Najma 0-0 draw. Al Ali over Al Khalij 4-1. And Al Khalud over Al Fateh 5-2. The Canfi beat Becker, NAC Nejmin over the Treffers 2-1. Scottish Premiership, Livingston St. Mirren 1-1 draw. Scottish Cup, Queen's Park, Stranraer 1-1 draw. Stranraer advances 6-5 on penalties. Finals so far today. Champions League, FK Karabag of Frankfurt 3-2. Atletico Madrid, Galatasaray 1-1 draw. ELC games are going on live right now. Dutch Eredivisie, Excelsior over AZ Alkmaar. I'm sorry, that was a 1-1 draw. The Pro League, Al Wakdood, Al Riyad, 2-2 draw. Al Ettifaq, Niam SE, 0-0 draw. Al Nasser over Damak, 2-1. Women's League Cup, Man United over Arsenal, 1-0. Chelsea over Man City, 1-0. Oh boy, we have Europa League tomorrow. We're not picking the games, I'll just talk about them. 12:45 Bologna Celtic, Fenerbahce Aston Villa, Feyenoord SK Sturm Graz, Malmo FF Red Star, PAOK Slavia Real Betis, SC Freiburg Maccabi Tel Aviv, SK Brand FC Midtjylland, Victoria Plzen FC Porto, Young Boys Lyon, 3 o'clock CBS Sports Network, AS Roma VfB Stuttgart, Braga Nottingham, Celta Vigo Lille, Dynamo Zagreb FCSB, FC Utrecht Racing Genk, Ferencváros Panathinaikos, Nice and the Go Ahead Eagles, Rangers Ludogorets, and RB Salzburg and FC Basel. The Pro League 10-15, Al Tamoun Al Hazayman 12-3, Al Hilal Al Faya and Al Kidiash and Al Idiad. Friendly 8 o'clock Panama and Mexico. So there you have it for soccer. Now I'll move on to golf. We will look at the upcoming event, and we will make a pick for it. Coming up right this weekend is the American Express from La Quinta Country Club in La Quinta, California. Tee times 11:30 a.m. Bud Cauley, Patrick Rogers, Mark Hubbard, C. Thiglia, Doug Ginn, Vince Whaley, Kevin Roy, Takumi Kanaya, Michael Thibjorson, Sam Stevens, Mac Meisner, Johnny Kiefer. 11:41 Billy Horschel, Harry English, Emiliano Grillo, Mackenzie Hughes, Daniel Berger, Will Zalatoris, Lovey Gayberg, Lee Hodges, Minwoo Lee, Tom Kim, Joe Highsmith, Aldrich Pottinger. 11:52 Sicheng Du, Hatong Lee, Jordan Smith, Christo Lamprecht, Patrick Fishburne, John Vanderlaan, Pontus Nylum, Jeffrey Kang, Jesper Svensson, Pearson Cootie, Jackson Suber, Kensei Harada. 12:03 Kevin Stroman, Rafael Campos, Lonzo Griffin, Seamus Power, Adam Long, David Lipsky, Evic Van Royen, Matt Wallace, Taylor Moore, Rico Hoey, Matai Schmid, Rio Hisatune. 12:14 Saiwoo Kim, Justin Rose, Scotty Scheffler, Davis Riley, Kurt Katayama, JT Potson, Matthew Pavon, Cam Davis, Andrew Novak, Sammy Valimaki, Davis Thompson. 12:25 Tony Finau, Michael Block, John Parry, Chong Kim, Marcelo Rosso, Frankie Capon III, Max Kreisman, Alejandro Tassi, Isaiah Salinda, S.H. Kim, Emilio Gonzalez, and Sudarshan Yellamajaro. 12:36 Bryce Garnett, Ricky Fowler, Harry Higgs, Peter Malnati, Bayo Hostler, Tom Hogue, Joel Dahman, Michael Kim, Denny McCarthy, Chad Ramey, Eric Cole, Nico Echevarria. 12:47 Chris Kirk, Gary Woodland, Russell Henley, Wyndham Clark, Robert McIntyre, Kevin Yu, Ash K. Bahita, Harry Hall, Nick Dunlap, Jacob Bridgman, Ryan Gerard, Carl Vilps, Jason Duffner is 12:58 with Adrian Sadier, Sam Ryder, Justin Lauer, Austin Smotherman, Hank Lebiota, Danny Walker, Dylan Wu, Gordon Sargent, David Ford, Neil Shipley, Blades Brown. 109 Matt Kuchar, Adam Scott, Camilo Vegas, Jason Day, Alex Noren, Matt Fitzpatrick, Adam Sepson, Adam Schenk, Carson Yawn, Gostin Escrow, Matt McCarty, William Mao, Charlie Hoffman's 120 with Zach Johnson, Brant Snecker, Pat Kazir, Andrew Landry, Adam Putnam, Keith Mitchell, Christian Ziedenhout, Alex Smalley, Rasmus Hojar, Max McGreevy, Chandler Phillips. 131 Jonathan Vegas, Brian Harmon, Nick Taylor, Patrick Haley, Stefan Yeager, Seb Straka, Max Homa, Brian Campbell, Taylor Pendrith, Sam Burns, Ben Griffin, Stephen Fisk, Dan Browns. 142 with Zach Pacho, Jimmy Stranger, Chris Ventura, Chandler Blanket, Kieda Nakajima, Ricky Castillo, S.T. Lee, AJ Ewart, Adrian DeMonte Chazer, Davis Chatfield, and Luke Clampton. So there are some intriguing choices for this. The guy I want to pick looks like he's not playing in this tournament. which is unfortunate. There are a couple guys that stand out to me. And the guy I want to pick, I can't believe Scotty is a 3-1 favorite. Like, that's ridiculous. That's just best player in the world. We're getting short him. I can get value on one of the best golfers in the world. And I can't find the other guy I want to bet. Whoever I want to freaking bet on is not even performing. I wanted to go Justin Thomas or Xander Schauffele. Neither of them are in it. So I'm going to go with somebody who came darn close 2 years ago. And was in the top 15 3 years ago. But the wild card here is that's not at the same place every year. But the gentleman I want to pick was the runner-up 2 years ago at the same course. He's 80-1, and it's Christian Ziedenhout. Why not? So I'm going to go Christian Ziedenhout to win the American Express tournament at 80-1. Okay, now move on to tennis. We'll go over the results from yesterday and today so far. Look ahead to tonight into overnight into tomorrow. We'll start with the men's. Men's second round. Just second round. We did the first round on yesterday's show. Nuno Borges over Jordan Thompson in 4 sets. 1-seed Carlos Alcaraz over Yannick Hanfmann in 3 sets. 14-seed Alejandro Davidovich over Riley Opelka in 5 sets. 11-seed Daniil Medvedev over Quentin Halys in 4 sets. Thomas Echeverry over Arthur Ferry in 3 sets. 13-seed Andrei Rublev over Jami Farah in 4 sets. Fabian Marozsan over Kamil Majarak in 3 sets. 18-seed Francisco Cerundolo over Damir DeZumer in 3 sets. And 19-seed Tommy Paul over Thiago Tarante in 3 sets. And then overnight, 29-seed Francis Tiafoe over Francisco Comensana in 4 sets. 6-seed Alex de Minaur over Hamad Medjevic in 4 sets. 3-seed Alexander Zverev over Alexandre Mueller in 4 sets. 10-seed Alexander Bublik over Martin Fucsovics in 3 sets. 26-seed Cam Norrie over Emilio Nava in 4 sets. 25-seed Lerner Tyen over Alexander Shevchenko in 4 sets. And 32-seed Corentin Moutet over Michael Zhang in 4 sets and a walkover. Coming up 7 o'clock tonight, Jacob Mensik, your 16 seed against Rafael Jodar. Sebastian Baez and 22-seed Luciano Darde. Rinky Hishkata over 30-seed Valentin Vakarot. 15-seed Karen Kakdevab over Nishay Bastavardi. 7:30, 5-seed Lorenzo Musetti over against Lorenzo Sonogo. 8 o'clock, Hubert Hurkacz and Ethan Quinn. 8-seed Ben Shelton and Dane Sweeney. 9 o'clock, or 9:15, Botic van de Zandschulp and J.C. Shang. 9:30, Francisco Mastarelli and 4-seed Novak Djokovic. 9:50, Arthur G. and Stan Wawrinka. 10 o'clock, Thomas Maciek and 31-seed Stefanos Tsitsipas. Elliot Sparisi and YB Wu. And 11 o'clock, 21-seed Denis Shapovalov and Martin Cilic. All right, overnight tonight, 2 a.m., Vit Capriva and 19 Taylor Fritz. 3 o'clock, James Duckworth and 2 seed Jannik Sinner. And 4 o'clock, Jame Munar and 12 seed Casper Rudd. And then third round, 18 seed Francisco Cerundolo and 13 seed Andre Rublev. 3 seed Alexander Zverev and 26 seed Cam Norrie. 1 seed Carlos Alcaraz and Corten Motet. 19 seed Tommy Paul and Alejandro David Fekina. This is what we have right now. 11 seed Daniil Medvedev and Fabian Mazeron. 25 seed Lerner Tian and Nuno Borges. 10 seed Alexander Bublik and Thomas Echeverry. 29 seed Francis Tiafoe and 6 seed Alex Demeter. That's a good match. And then on to the women's. Yesterday's second round, 3 seed Coco Gauff over Olga Danovic in 2 sets. Anastasia Potapova over 28 seed Emma Raducanu in 2 sets. 14 seed Clara Tauson over Polina Kudermetova in 3 sets. 17 seed Victoria Mboko over Katie McNeely in 2 sets. Haley Baptist over Storm Hunter in 2 sets. Yulia Putintseva over Elsa Jackmot in 2 sets. 1 seed Arena Sablenka over Zuan Bay in 2 sets. 23 seed Diana Schneider over Talia Gibson in 3 sets. Then Somnes over Anna Bodner in 2 sets. 12 seed Alina Svitolina over Linda Klimafikova in 2 sets. And then overnight, 2019, Eva Jovic over Priscilla Hone in 2 sets. 17 Jasmine Paolini over Magdalena Frech in 2 sets. 18 Mira Andreeva over Maria Sakkari in 2 sets. 19 seed Carolina Muchova over Alicia Parks in 3 sets. Magdalena over Anli in 2 sets. Elena Gabriela Rus over Alja Tomkovic in 2 sets. And then coming up tonight, 7 o'clock, Ashlyn Kruger, 19 Madison Keys. Oksana Selokmeva and 25 seed Paula Badosa. 7:30, 60 Jessica Pegula and McCartney Kessler. 8 o'clock, Janice Tujen and Carolina Pliskova. Peyton Stearns and Petra Marcinko. 8:30, Xinu Wang and Jelena Ostapenko, your 24 seed. 13 seed Linda Noskova and Talia Preston. 9 o'clock, Anna Kalinskaya and Julia Graber. Madison Ingles and Laura Siegman. 9:30, Katerina Siniakova and 14 Amanda Anisimova. 9:50, number 21 seed Elise Mertens and Mayuka Ukujima. 11 o'clock, Linda Fervitova and Teresa Valentova. And 11:50, Nikola Bartikova and 10 seed Belinda Bencic. And then overnight, tonight, 1 a.m. is Marie Buskova and 2 seed Iga Swiatek. 3 a.m. is 16 seed Naomi Osaka and Sorona Saresta. And 4:40 is 5 seed Elena Rybakina and Varvara Gracheva. All right, third round, as we know so far, Zdeněk Samanits and Yulia Putintseva. 29 seed Eva Jovic and 7 seed Jasmine Paolini. 1 seed Arena Sablenka and Anastasia Potapova. 17 seed Victoria Mboko and 14 seed Clara Tauson. That's a good one. Elena Gabriela Rus and 8 seed Mira Andreeva. 3 seed Coco Gauff and Haley Baptist. 12 seed Alina Svitolina and 23 seed Diana Schneider. And 19 seed Carolina Muchova and Magdalena. All right, so there you have it for tennis. Now move on to on this day. We'll talk about what happened on this day today, January 21st. I really love this segment. I really do. And on this day, January 21st. Okay, 2018. Eagles advanced to Super Bowl. I have to do the math here. Oh my God. 52. And they advanced to play the Patriots, who also advanced to Super Bowl 52. The Eagles beat the Vikings, and New England beat Jacksonville. 2021, the Eagles hired Nick Sirianni, who's still their coach. 2020, Derek Jeter elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. 2025, Ichiro Suzuki elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. 2017, Colts fired GM Ryan Grigson. 2020, the Braves acquired Marcell Ozuna. 2024, the Chiefs defeat the Bills in the divisional round. That was the was that the second game? No, that was longer than that. That was the year the Chiefs had to do it on the road. They did it at Buffalo, and then they went to Baltimore. 2019, the Reds acquire Sonny Gray from the New York Yankees. Now Sonny Gray's bouncing around the league like crazy. 2014, the Buccaneers hired Jason Licht as GM. 2022, the Giants hired Joe Shane as GM. And 2024, the Lions defeat the Buccaneers in the divisional round. So that was the Bucs. I remember came close to that game. And then that same year was when the Lions lost to San Francisco, and there was the controversy in that game. Okay, now we're going to talk about The Masked Singer. We haven't gotten to it since it started. I made my picks of who was going to be on the show. We're going to talk about the first 2 episodes, and I have no idea what's going to go down tonight. So the first episode was the season 14 premiere. They did what they did back in the day called the Showdowns. Like, I remember the first season, I remember it was like Monster against Unicorn and things like that. So, the panelists performed in the open. It was Rita and Robin and Jenny and Ken. And then, they did these little showdowns. So it's Galaxy Girl against Handyman. Galaxy Girl went first. There are flowers in the clue package. Was on the top, young. Welcome to LA sign, Friday the 13th, circle on the calendar, and then there's a heart with the rock. She performed Super Graphic Ultra Modern Girl by Chapel Roan. She did hint that she loved Rita and wants to have fun. My guess for this is actress Danielle Panabaker, who was in Friday the 13th. That's the name I landed on. Rita picked Lindsay Lohan. Jenny picked Jennifer Love Hewitt. And Ken said Emma Stone. Handyman. There was a teacup, a mirror. Had a wild group. There was an ace of spades. And they Handyman performed Shake Your Groove Thing by Peaches and Herb. He said his daughter dared him to do The Masked Singer. My guess for this, Wonder Mike. Wonder Mike, an artist, he's in the Sugar Hill Gang, known for Rapper's Delight. Ken said Idris Elba, Robin said Tone Loaf, and Rita said Vin Diesel. And Galaxy Girl won the vote in advance. The next showdown, Pug Casso against Queen Corgi. Pug Casso, obviously a colorful pug, instead of Picasso. They called it Pug Casso. There's a TV studio, home plate, Eiffel Tower, dog show. And the character performed Ordinary by Alex Warren. Talks about being a private person. I said A-Rod because I saw home plate in a TV studio, and obviously he's been in studio shows in the past. Ken said Dan Reynolds, Rita said Darren Criss, and Robin said Ryan Tedder. Queen Corgi performed. There was a school, mouthwash, a mic, live from New York, physics paper with an F. There was a Best in Show trophy, and there was a pom-pom. Queen Corgi performed Don't Rain on My Parade by Barbra Streisand. My guess, Kristen Chenoweth. Rita said Nikki Blonsky. Ken said Maya Rudolph. And Jenny said Amy Bryant. And she also says she's new to singing. Like, what? And then Pug Casso won the vote. Scarab against the Croissants. The Scarab rose as high as any star. There are men photos on the wall. Golden Lobe. Maybe a Golden Globe. I think maybe I meant to put Golden Globe, but it says Golden Globe on my list. The Lion, Scales of Justice. And the contestant performed Set Fire to the Rain by Adele. My guess for this is Mary J. Blige. Ken stupidly said Whoopi Goldberg. I give that my pick for the worst guest of the episode. Jenny said Viola Davis. And Robin said Shirley Ruff. Then came the croissants. There was a pool. They talked about how they were canceled. Peaches, Rascal reunited. They said they had a decline. And then they performed Jailhouse Rock by Elvis Presley. I guess Sammy Sweetheart and Ronnie Ortiz, Margot of Jersey Shore. Robin said Snooki, The Situation of Jersey Shore. Rita said Spence and Heidi. And Jenny said the Chrisleys. And then the Scrub won the vote. Snow Cone against Stingray. Stone Cold talks about support group. Pink Sneakers got a TV gig. Got moved over. There was an America's Sweetheart Cash. And this person performed When I Grew Up by the Pussycat Dolls. And there was an ice cream man during the performance. The name I have written down is this someone that was on TV. And in the TV show she was in, she was kind of pushed to the side for one of her co-stars. And the co-star I'm talking about is Maddie Ziegler. And my guess was her former rival on the show, Chloe Lukasiak. I could be wrong about this, but maybe I'm in the right frame of mind. Maybe it is Maddie and they're using JoJo as the pushover or something like that. Or Mackenzie Ziegler would have been a good one who was pushed over for her sister maybe, but like I put down Chloe Lukasiak, but maybe, who knows, maybe I'm in the right field. Jenny said Nisha Barton. Rita said Nicole Richie. Ken said Taylor Momsen. Stingray, there's a theater, Sunset Boulevard, Ant, a crib. Had friends that done the show, and Stingray performed Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. I said Chris Brown. Ken said Lenny Kravitz. Jenny said Jaden Smith, and Rita said Lil Romeo. The Stingray won the vote. And then the last showdown was Googly Eye and Cat Witch. Googly Eye, there was an office. Monster hits, their bagels, a cake mix. There was Red in the Black. And then Googly Eye performed Turn Down for What by DJ Snake and Lil Jon. My guess was Bob Sinclair, who has that song Rock This Party. Ken said David Ortiz, Big Papi. Robin said Daddy Yankee, and Rita said Wesley Snipes. Cat Witch, there was a log cabin, a skull, a soda pop can. Used to be anonymous. She performed Abracadabra by Lady Gaga. My guess was Joey King. Rita said Charlie D'Amelio. Jenny said Addison Rae. And Ken said Lisa Manabal. I do think it's somebody in that field. I mean, maybe Madison Beer. Or maybe Madison Beer might be too big. Kind of like Haley Steinfeld all of a sudden is too big for the Masked Singer. And Cat Witch won the vote. First unmasked was Googly Eye. My final guess, Bob Sinclair. Ken said David Ortiz. Jenny with the bad guess of Derek Jeter. Robin goes with Pedro Martinez. And Rita said Manny Ramirez. And it was indeed Big Papi, David Ortiz. Ken was right, finally. And how about Ken being right in the first episode? I think that happened one other time. But yeah, it was indeed Mr. Big Papi, Obviously, the connection with Fox makes sense. Although that's why Jeter on The Masked Singer would, in theory, make sense too. And so would A-Rod because they all work for Fox. So Fox employee and Ken was right. So good for Ken. And that was a good get for the show. I enjoyed Big Poppy. Second unmasked was the Croissants. My final guess, Sammy Sweetheart and Ronnie Ortiz Margot. Robin said Snooki in the situation. Ken said Tim McGraw and Faith Hill. Jenny McCarthy said Todd and Julie Chrisley. And Rita says Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montel. And I knew this was going to happen. I saw the end credits roll up when Croissants were about to get unmasked. And then they said, end the show. You'll find out in the beginning of the next episode. So episode 2 kicks in. The Croissants are unmasked, and it's Todd and Julie Chrisley. So Jenny was correct with that. So the regular episode, Johnny Knoxville appears to promote his new show. And the theme is Fear Night. Lahoo was the first to perform. There was a playground. There was a box of question marks. She said she was guest before on the show, and she said she was ghosted. Lahoo performed One Way or Another by Blondie, and the Knoxville clue, obviously, it's things people fear. Snakes. It said EGOT loading 50%, halfway to doing it all. My guess was Whoopi Goldberg, who's been guest so many times in the show by Ken. Jenny said Leslie Jones. Ken said Wanda Sykes. And Rita said Tiffany Haddish. High Voltage was next. There's Grease Boxes, a USA map, a bird. 22, The V, a Patriot, Mug World. And High Voltage performed Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears. And there was a lightning rod on a costume. Lightning bolt on the costume. The Knoxville clue was a tarantula and it said Rose Bowl. My guess is another Fox employee. This would be their biggest star yet. And it's not even a singer. And it's not even an actor or an actress. It's an athlete. It's the best athlete of my lifetime. Tom Brady is High Voltage. I sound like King Jungy there, but I don't care. I think High Voltage is Mr. Tom Brady. Robin said Cohen O'Brien, and Jenny said Tom's former teammate, Julian Edelman, which would be cool, but it ain't Tom. Like, Julian Edelman's not Tom Brady. I'm convinced that this is Tom Brady. Finally, we get the GOAT on the show. And then Kylie Cottrell made an appearance before the break. And then Calla Lily. There is a ring. She talks about having a struggle with something. She talks about her kids, a watering pot, and she performed Fight Song by Rachel Platten. The Knoxville clue, Sewer Rats, and it said director. My guess, Sandra Bullock. Rita said Selma Blair, and Ken said Christine Applegate. Owl. There was a fire, a kite, talks about being very popular, a movie star, and there was a reindeer in there. And Owl performed Wild Thing by the Trogs. The Knoxville clue was Millipedes, and it said goat. My guess, Malachi Culkin. The reindeer made me think of Christmas movies. Home Alone, talks about movie star, very popular. Like Clues fan. Ken said Matthew McConaughey, and Jenny said Billy Bob Thornton. So, those are interesting guesses. And my favorite character, and the one I feel the best about, other than, I don't know if I feel better about Eggplant or if I feel better than High Voltage. Eggplant, there's a sign that said, vote for me, there's fruit, 5 decades of experience, 438C, I don't know what that means, a red swimsuit, and there are pictures of Jack Nicholson and Jason Bateman hanging. And Eggplant performed Rocket Man by Elton John. And the Knoxville clue was cockroaches and talks about being on Broadway. I couldn't help it but think of none other than Mr. Martin Short, who We've waited for so long to come on The Masked Singer, and I think this is finally it. Robin said Martin Short as well. Rita said Nathan Lade. And maybe that's the biggest celebrity yet that they've been promoting on the show. It's either Martin Short in Eggplant or Tom Brady in High Voltage. It's either or. But more popular right now is Tom Brady. I mean, Martin Short's big time too, but maybe they'll have their two biggest celebrities yet in Tom Brady and Martin Short. But that'd be pretty cool. And who went home? Lahoo. I thought that Owl should have went home because I wasn't a fan of the song Wild Thing. But no, it was Lahoo. And my final guess was Whoopi Goldberg. Robin said Keke Palmer. Jenny said Leslie Jones. Ken said Wanda Sykes. Rita said Tiffany Haddish. And it was indeed Tiffany Haddish. Congrats to Rita for getting it right. So, Ken, if they're doing the Golden Ear Trophy again, Ken has one, Jenny has one, and Rita has one. So, Robin is under some pressure to get one. I don't know what group's going tonight. So, what I think is going to happen is that they'll break into, they'll probably split the people from episode 1, 4, and 4. And then these 4 will stay together. And then I think they'll go to the Lucky 6 like they did last season. So I would say 3 more episodes. Maybe 2 more episodes of each group. And that brings us to 8. And the final 6 would be 9. Yeah, there'd be 13 episodes in the season. So I think it's going to be the same as last time. 2 episodes each for each group. And I think they break up episode 1's group. And then they do the Lucky 6 like last time. I thought that format worked out pretty good. So there you have it for The Masked Singer. I know we had to talk about that for a while because we had to do 2 episodes. Okay, now move on to the news and notes. A lot that has to be brought up. Trayvon Diggs got waived by the Packers and is now a free agent. Tommy Reese, the former Browns offensive coordinator, is following Kevin Stefanski to Atlanta. The Eagles are interviewing Matt Nagy for their offensive coordinator position. Brandon Ayuk will not return to the 49ers, and John Lynch settles any speculation. Brian Daboll wants the Buffalo Bills job as he's expected to become the Titans offensive coordinator if he doesn't land in Buffalo. Tyreek Hill had a Mike McDaniel post as he took notice of his new job. He goes, Mike to the Chargers. There's an AFC executive on the Jets situation as he mentions Kyler, Tua, and Geno as possible trade targets. Kyler, I think, makes the most sense. Steve Kerr's time in Golden State is uncertain as his future is still up in the air. I think there's an extension that still has to be done. And sometimes a divorce is the best option. I know he's won a bunch of titles there. But there's been a lot of drama, and the Jonathan Kuminga thing, and Draymond's obviously a lunatic, so I don't blame Steve Kerr if they part ways. Alright, there's a new report detailing their drama in the Bust family. Sibling infighting leading to the sale of the team. Wow. And then Jeannie Buss felt LeBron was not grateful for the Lakers drafting Bronny. So that's crazy. And then Jeannie Buss also floated a LeBron Clippers trade as she privately mused about moving LeBron in 2022 over his outsized ego. Wow. This is some crazy shit coming out about the Lakers. The Timberwolves are eyeing a group of Chicago Bulls players, Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, and Trey Jones. Mike Dunleavy Jr. hints at lack of trade interest in Jonathan Kuminga, which makes sense. He goes, things in this league can change in a heartbeat, so he's got to be ready. And then he said, when you make a demand, there's needs to be demand on the market. The Yankees re-signed Cody Bellinger today to a 5-year, $162.5 million deal. The Yankees had to do it, and they signed or re-signed the player that fits their team good. They've done this with non-stars in the past. You see with DJ LeMay, but that contract did not work out. I know Aaron Hicks didn't work out either. They have a history of it not going so well with the non-stars. So it's going to be interesting to see now what's next for them. And in the Mets today, or yesterday night, acquired Luis Robert Jr. from the White Sox in what was somewhat of a surprising trade. I know Luis Angel Acuna went in the deal and somebody else went. So we'll see how that goes. And the Mets introduced Bo Bichette today as well. And the Yankees are still eyeing Willie Peralta from the Brewers. I don't think they need starting pitching. I think that's an unpopular take. They have Colin Rodon coming back in June. If they trade for Peralta, that means that somebody else in the rotation's hurt, or one of those guys might not be back till like Labor Day. So if they trade for Peralta, I think that's a red flag. I'm not saying that would be a bad acquisition, but I just think it'd be a waste of an acquisition if those two guys are back and your bullpen's terrible and you go and trade all your assets for Peralta and Ryan Weathers Jr. So I just personally think that it's not worth it to trade for Peralta because you need help in your bullpen more than anything. And the Dodgers are not in the starting pitching market as they and they shouldn't be. Their starting pitching's really good. Joe Mixon's Texans future is unclear as the GM addressed freak injury that caused him to miss the whole year. 2027 Hall of Fame candidates. Next year's eligible list includes Buster Posey. Speaking of Buster Posey, there's somebody that was in his era that was also a catcher that got hired in a baseball front office. Yadier Molina will be special assistant to President of Baseball Operations Shane Bloom. I mean, at least he's not running the show like Posey, but I don't like the past player running the show thing because that doesn't always work out. And then two players make this year's Hall of Fame, Andrew Jones and Carlos Beltran. So, congrats to them. The Knicks are trying to trade Guerschon Yabusele. He just hasn't been good for the Knicks this year. I mean, they thought he was going to be awesome. I thought he was going to be awesome. So that was a whiff. So the Knicks are admitting defeat. Knicks G League player Dink Pate exploring college options. The WNBA schedule came out. The season starts on May 8th. Kyle Shanahan on the Mac Jones rumors as he says the team is not getting rid of good players amid trade questions. Well, you could trade him for another good player, especially on defense. Terry Pagula shades the coaches as he pins the Keon Coleman draft pick on Sean McDermott and staff. Yikes. That was a bad pick. He was healthy scratched in a bunch of games. And then the pre-draft video resurfaces, it seems like Brandon Beane was a Keon Coleman fan. Mick Cronin rips the Big Ten schedule as he says conference doesn't care about basketball. I don't I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that at all. I think they do care about basketball. And I just think that he's trying to make excuses. Meanwhile, they did beat Purdue last night. Ducks defenseman Jackson Lacombe joins Team USA to replace Seth Jones on the squad. Former Brown Joe Thomas calls out Baker Mayfield as he chimes in after Mayfield ripped Kevin Stefanski. And Terry Pegula said the Bills hit a playoff wall as his decision to fire Sean McDermott was based on results of our game in Denver. I think there's more to that. I think it was more than just Denver. Spurs Rockets was in a rim delay as the game got halted as officials tried to fix the tilted rim. LSU gets Ole Miss edge rusher Princewell Umamalin. DeAndre Ayton got ruled out after being poked in the left eye. JJ Redick also says Austin Reeves will return during the road trip. There's a high school player that had a 100-point game in Arizona. Adrian Stubbs set state record in 3 quarters earlier in the month. The Chargers will hire Mike McDaniel as their offensive coordinator. We talked about that a little bit already with Tyreek Hill's post. Kurt Signetti get a $2 million bonus as he's also in line for a raise after winning the title. Signetti gets beer for life as Bloomington Brewery hooks up with Signetti with lifetime supply after a viral post-game quote. And the Red Sox acquire Twins prospect catcher Nate Baez in exchange for Tristan Gray. Tristan Gray was a highly touted prospect for Boston as well. And then I'm trying to think of who the other guy was that got dealt to the White Sox in the Roberts trade. Truman Pauly, righty. I think it's a good change of scenery trade for Roberts. We'll see how that works out. But Acuna, the Mets got to give up something good to get something good, so works out both ways. And then John Harbaugh says that he was sold on the Giants after talking to Jackson Dart. Wow. He really wanted to come here, and I'm so happy about it. All right, so there you have it for the news and notes. Last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. Show is over an hour today. I'm going to go with Tulane against Florida Atlantic plus 10.5. That was the best bet on the board. FA shouldn't be that big of a favorite. They've excelled in conference play. And they only have one more win than Tulane. Same number of losses, but conference play is the difference there. So I'm going to go with Florida Atlantic. Tulane plus 10.5 against Florida Atlantic for my best bet of the day. So there you have it for the show, and I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything. I'll get that everything tomorrow as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.